Let's talk about Japan. Well, we love Japan. I'll tell you just how much. Well, in a boy's eyes, we went to the Junior Olympics. The Olympics are cool, man. We gotta get the Olympics going, like with better stuff. But you know, went to the Junior Olympics when I was just a teenager. Well, not really. I just turned 18, I believe. My memory serves me correct. It's the 1996 Junior Olympics and the New Orleans Superdome. And we had competitors from all over the world and the nation there. And most of the wins came from Florida and Michigan. I don't know what happened to Florida since, but maybe they lost their minds. And now we know why. But I went in there, and some of the competitions, just like when I was in school, I did the 4-H club. I drew a picture with pencil, and then I traced over with ink, erased the pencil. They said I traced it, so they disqualified me for having too perfect a work. I go do these forms competitions. They say I look like a robot. It's too perfect, so they disqualified me. Gave me like a second place trophy for forms. So some of those other kids that weren't that great could have a first place. So they gave the first place trophy to the person who wasn't as good as me. And that's what my family does. So we go to this other thing. First place is in sparring competitions. So I go to this other competition and didn't have anybody there to compete with me, so we did an exhibition, just kind of acting. And then we go to Junior Olympics, and there's a bunch of people there. One guy about ripped a guy's face off, so they disqualified him for being too violent. And then I go to this competition. There's a really nice Japanese kid there. He was from Japan. I think he was, can't remember where it was, but he got the first place trophy, man. You can believe that? Martial arts, Japanese kid, man. And it's because they say you're gonna do this competition, but if you lose this fight, you're not gonna be able to compete with anybody else. Because first place is all the way, never lost. So I go, all right. So I'm throwing enough kicks, and I always threw my kicks a little sloppy. So because everybody said everything too perfect, so I just throw the kicks a little sloppy, And I threw one too perfect. Japanese kid kind of flip over. He land on the ground. So the referees are going, fight, 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 while the guy's still on the ground. So I reached down to the Japanese kid, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to give you a hand up. And then I lost by a tenth, not a point, a tenth of a point, because I took it easy on the guy the rest of the match. I felt bad, because it's like, man, I didn't mean to make him land on the ground like that. So, it was about sportsmanship, not destroying people in their lives. So I'm like, let me help the Japanese guy up. So, there's Olympic sports, junior Olympic sports, and all those military dependent kids, they kind of remember each other. Maybe that Japanese kid is somewhere in the world talking to the Japanese people going, hey, I remember that Kirk kid. That's true. He did, and I landed on my butt. And it's like, all those referees are like, hey, fight, 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 beat him into the ground. And Mr. Kirk was like, nope, here's a hand, man, let me help you up. And me and the Japanese kid, talk. He got a big knot on his face from heel. I'm like, man, I didn't mean to put that big knot on your face. He's like, man, it's okay. You're pretty good, He's like, you should have won, but I got the first place trophy. I was like, I'm not here for trophies, man. Just here to compete, have fun. So that's the story about the Japanese people. The Japanese people, they build a lot of stuff for the United States. So we probably need to have some Japanese stuff for tourism, not just the restaurants. And I'm pretty sure the Army Corps of Engineers can figure something out like that. Japanese got the Japanese China Wall, Oh no, that's Chinese. Oh, see, I mix it up. But, Japanese, they got some stuff. They got, remember, the samurai, man. We got these martial arts studios and stuff. But what about, like a little Mr. Miyagi thing, It's like, hey, you remember that California movie with the Mr. Miyagi stuff? They had some Japanese stuff. Well, maybe in one of those towns where they got the little grass and stuff growing over there in the desert, maybe they could put like a little Japanese thing up in a mountain somewhere for like a tourist attraction. And then when they come over there and they go, wow, there's stuff growing in the desert. they could see that too. You know, pretty sure the Army Corps of Engineers can handle that too. And they're probably like, man, that's a pretty cool idea, no problem.